Up next, Stephen King, the coach of Melbourne, joins us on the Agenda Setters set. Stay with us. Melbourne is one of the stories of the year so far, with a new coach on board, Stephen King. They're 9 and 6th, 7th on the ladder, and Stephen King is making his debut on the Agenda Setters tonight. Stephen, thanks for your time.
No worries, Tom. Thanks for having me.
At the bye, tell us how a senior coach spends a couple of weeks off.
Yeah, probably just spend some time with family, do a couple of things you don't normally get a chance to do, but probably just reflect really on what's transpired to this point of the year and what opportunities lay ahead. So, yeah, probably just restock, replenish, and then get ready to go again.
So we spoke in the first segment about the legal settlement with Saatchi Dade after the meeting that happened earlier this year involving yourself and now departed Paul Guerra and Alan Richardson. Stephen, do you regret taking part in that meeting?
Yeah, look, I think it's obviously now something we as a club got wrong. We had good intent, but if we had our time again, I think we've acknowledged that was a mistake, and yeah, we probably shouldn't have done that.
Will you speak to Saatchi at some stage yourself?
I'll wait and see what the club want us to do from that point of view, but I think, yeah, obviously it's been settled now, so we'll just move forward.
So just on Stephen himself, obviously you tried to get a trade over the off-season. That didn't happen. Was it your call in the end to exit Stephen from the club?
I think in the end, yeah, that was probably something that at the time we were looking for opportunities for Stephen elsewhere. Clubs weren't really willing to take that risk. So from that point of time, it was a clean slate to move forward. But yeah, clearly things didn't work out for Stephen, and he chose to go down a different path, and we moved forward.
I'll come back to some fixture ones later, and your other small mistake, but you've got a footy question.
Oh, I got a lot of footy questions. So I heard you speak on SEN with Gary and Tim in the lead up to the Adelaide game. Might just play what you had to say in the lead up to that game.
Personally, selfishly, for me as a senior coach, I'd love to play.
I mean, I'd love to build this one up for us. It's almost, away from home. Adelaide are up and about playing really, really dominant football at the moment. So it's a great opportunity for us to empty out before our bye and have a massive crack at it.
So I heard that and I thought, this is going to be on, and it was.
Yeah.
It was on. It was a tight game, but I just felt like there were some areas where you probably failed a finals test. That's the way that I sort of graded it. I thought your kicking efficiency late was bothersome out in the falls. You missed 13 tackles for the game. Your tackle efficiency, and then you got dominated in the air. Some of the clips that we show, we can run, and you can have your say on that. There's some of the missed tackles. How did you assess this, and did it dent your confidence of your possibilities of where you can go this year?
No, strangely enough, Kane, it actually enhanced my what's possible for this group. So you're showing probably from a pessimistic lens. I actually coded 25 missed opportunities that we left out there.
Yep.
So for me, that's the exciting opportunity that lays ahead of us. We certainly need to become a bit stronger in the tackle component of part of the game. But yeah, I thought some execution late really hurt us. But in terms of being willing and ready to apply pressure and be combative at the contest, we're up for the fight there. So I think we had 9 or 10 players under 50 games, and for them to experience that type of game in a state will hold us in good stead.
So that's good to know. So you feel like if you're placed in a final now, high-pressure game like that, your players will be much better equipped to perform better than they did, particularly late. There was a few of those.
Yeah, I think we'd love our time again. We probably kicked a couple out in the full from kick-ins. I don't think we went at the game hard enough, aggressively enough when it was there to be won. They probably got a goal late, which probably made that score look a bit flattering for Adelaide, but I thought we were right into the game.
We've sung the praises of Cozzy. Like his season on the whole has been enormous, and we've loved watching him play. Just on that game, and tell me if I'm being pessimistic again, I thought he looked disinterested, and you tried to get him into the game. You put him forward. He was midfield. How do you assess him when he's not in that type of mood that we've all seen at stages this year?
Yeah, I'm still trying to learn Cozzy, work with him, find out what's best for him and find different ways to coach him. And he's responded really strongly to some games or quarters where he's been a bit down. So he's carried an enormous load for us this year. He's been, I believe, top 5 player of the comp. He gets tagged every week. He fights his way through it. And maybe it's just the fact it was our 3rd game in 13 days off the back of Darwin, waiting for our bye, and he's carried such a huge load for us, but I'm sure he'll respond the second half of the year. So
I said about Jason Orr-Francis about getting him some help at Port Adelaide if Butters goes. Are you having those conversations around Cozzy with your list?
I think we can all help each other. So we've got an unbelievable playing group that are willing to do anything for each other, and any way we can help Cozzy is it.
What about outside your playing group from another club? Are you looking to get another gun in so that he's not the one that gets the tag every single
I think we're always looking for ways to improve. We're in a position now, I think, where we're playing attractive footy for players to look at and say, I could be part of that. I think our environment's improved. The brand of football's, we get to play at the MCG most weeks. So hopefully, I think, people are looking there and thinking, I'd love to be part of that and could help improve us.
Stephen, you didn't have a bye until the weekend just gone. You're the only team to go past, I think, round 14 or 15 without a bye. Now that we are through that, you don't want to make excuses beforehand. Is that something you or the club will speak to the AFL about regarding the fixture for 2027?
Yeah, I think so. And as you say, I'm a first-time coach. I can't make too much of a song and dance around certain aspects of the game. My job's to coach the club and play the schedule that we've got. But certainly that Darwin game, we played the Giants up there. It was 26-degree heat, and they got the bye the week after. We had to play 3 more games in 13 days, which was fortunate. One was King's birthday, highly emotional game, and I was more concerned after post-Darwin how we're going to bounce out of that. But to the players' credit, we got to work.
I don't want to correct you. I think it was Alice Springs, actually, not Darwin.
Sorry, Alice Springs.
Now, we started to play the clip. Let's have a look again at what you said after that game in the Alice.
Personally, selfishly, for me as a senior coach, I'd love to play every game at the MCG. That's our home. But I completely understand the club's position and for our responsibility to grow the game, but also for our club to maximise its opportunities when they present as well. So I'm not sure how long the contract is. That's not part of my role. I'm here to coach the team.
Now, you weren't the only one. Damien Hardwick made a couple of comments too after their double run of games in Darwin, but I don't think the Northern Territory government were thrilled with those comments. I know Melbourne would rather not play there. I think my understanding is you'll negotiate with the AFL and probably end up playing there again next year, but no Marvel games as a payback. Do you regret making those comments? Was that a rookie coach mistake? I mean, given the celebration that all those people from Alice Springs having you there and how much they loved it.
Yeah, I've been part of Northern Territory games for a while, coaching up on the Gold Coast as well. So I understand how important it is to bring the game of AFL football to those communities up there. I stand my decision around and my comments around what a privilege it is to play at the MCG every week as well. So. But no, I feel like as a club we've had nearly 20 years now that partnership with the Northern Territory government, and if that can continue, that's great. For me, probably could we play it at night, could we get a bye the week after, those sort of things that we could go to the AFL and work on.
Brody Mychek, have you got an update for us on him?
Yeah, look, it's obviously such an emotional period. We're just so fortunate that Brody's up and walking. So yeah, he's got the neck brace on, I think maybe for another month, and then we'll just reassess where he's at. Clearly his season's done now, but we're just so thankful that he's actually, he's up and about and walking. It's, it was so close to being an absolute tragedy.
You spent some time with him pretty soon after that accident, didn't you?
I just made sure I popped in. I just wanted to show my support, and it was just important to do. But I obviously knew how at that point it was still pretty dicey where it was at, so it was a scary time.
So Kane talked about Cozzy and whether he was on during that Adelaide game. At what point did he come to you and ask whether he could make regular trips home to be with his daughter? And take us through that thought process.
Oh, yeah, it was just something, obviously, that was happening in Cozzy's personal life, which I won't get into, but, he felt the need, he had to go home occasionally, and it's only been 3 times throughout the year to date. So he'll look at the schedule, what works for him, and to be honest, that flexibility and trust I'd love to give to every player, and to be honest, every time Cozzy's come back from Darwin, he's shot the lights out and probably filled his cup what he needs to see his daughter and take care of that. And I feel like if I can create that workplace for any of my staff or my players that they need to take care of their families first, we'll get the best of them at the footy club.
Well, that's what we keep hearing, that you've taken anxiety out of performance at the footy club. And Cozzy is a major example. And there are so many players I could talk about, Jefferson. I mean, the list goes on, Langford. But where did you learn that? And is it something that you put forward when you were interviewed, when you went for the job?
Yeah, it was. You can't take anxiety out of this game because the game for 2 hours a week is that's on. You can't escape that.
You certainly seem to have reduced it.
Well, what you can do during the week is make your workplace as safe and as welcoming as possible. And that's the balance, to find that with high performance. That if you combine the two, I feel like you get something really powerful. I've probably seen the best club at Geelong in that environment with what they do, and I'm not trying to make Melbourne Geelong. I think we can do things uniquely our way, which we've been doing, but I just think as well, I've worked in some environments that have been unbelievable, and then some that have been high anxiety as well, and I just feel like, for me, to get the best out of my people and players as well, I want to try and create that environment where everyone feels welcome.
There was a lot of anxiety at Carlton earlier this year. Their interim coach, and you've been an interim coach, Josh Fraser, you know well. I think your sons play footy together. Yep. What advice would you give him now? Oh,
just to keep being himself, and I think he's doing an amazing job, like what he's done in such a short period of time, and it probably takes the whole coaching staff there as well in the footy department to jump in and carry the load, but Josh, I think he's just gaining invaluable experience now for setting himself up for what's next in his coaching career. I sit back now and marvel at what he's done. So how he couldn't be on everyone's shortlist, yeah, he'd have to be a contender.
There seems to be no rules with player movement and recruiting players. So you would have your view. Luke Beveridge has had his. Josh Carr has certainly responded and has had his. And you're interested in one of Gold Coast players, Bailey Humphrey. Damien Hardwick had his.
And people can sit there and they can talk about Bailey Humphrey and Joel Jeffrey and all these players. They're contracted to us for the next 2 years. You can talk to them as much as you want, but they're contracted. They're not going anywhere as long as I'm coach of this football club.
What's your response to that? And will you try with Bailey again, considering he still is contracted and Hardwick says he's going nowhere?
I think we're naive if we believe that clubs don't speak to players that are coming out of contract. I mean, we've had 2 players that have moved at the end of the season when I started as well. So I'm sure.
Is it different if they're in contract though?
Well, potentially, but I think, yeah, I think as a coach, I've sat here and listened to Sam Mitchell before saying you want to try and make your club the best possible club it can be. So I do respect, I mean, I stay out of our contract negotiations with our players that are currently out of contract. If I get a call from our list manager saying there's a few players that we think potentially could be out of contract at the end of the year or could add value to us, I am mindful and respectful of their position, but also anything I can do to help our club get better, I'm up for that.
So what's your biggest need then? If you could pick one sort of player that you want to bring in for 2027, what type of player is that?
I wouldn't say a type, Tom. I think I like the game played at a high speed, an attacking brand of football. If we can get players in that can help contribute to that, both from an athletic profile but a skill set, I'll look across the board at that.
And contact training, has the AFL made the right call in limiting contact training?
I need to hear more about it. I think no one would be as risk adverse as me in terms of contact at training. I think it's an interesting situation. Coaches care more about their players and their welfare than I believe some people at the AFL would. So to suggest that we do things that would put our players in, you know, in harmful positions would be silly. But yeah, it's an interesting one.
Stephen, great start to the year, 9 and 6, 7th on the ladder. Really appreciate your time tonight.
Pleasure.
Stephen King joining us from Melbourne Football Club.